With you all some things that happened last night. So Head Horse won last night, and the young folk had an opportunity to see what behaviors horses have when their ears are pinned back and when their eyes, they can see the whites of their eyes. So someone about 6:50 last night, someone just felt compelled to let off fireworks right across at the park. And at first it sounded like gunshots. So I'm like, what? But I happened to look up and saw all the lights. I'm like, fireworks? So I see that, but what was more important, I see the horses. The girls had brought the horses out. One was already tied to the hitching rail. The other was tying Destiny to the hitching rail. Destiny lost her lunch. Oh, wow. For real. She was pulling back. Now, normally, like a Kachina will pull to the point of pulling the nail out of the wood. Destiny was pulling back. So what the girls did was they immediately said, okay, this is not good, and started to back away. And the horses, Destiny was swaying back and forth, lifting her head up and kind of raising up. I'm like, ho, ho, ho. So I went and kind of tried to console her. Levi, who we worked with yesterday, even Levi was spooked. And so it was interesting, but I was so proud of them because they knew this is not the time to try to console these big babies. Get out of the way. And so their mom was here, so I had them come on this side of the gate. And for Destiny, I pulled her off, you know, emergency, emergency, get that horse off. All the stuff we talk about and learn. Pulled her off of the hitching rail and just tried to walk her. She was running, so she's like pulling me. I'm like, easy, easy. And I realized she's scared. I checked her pulse. Her pulse is all racing. You know, we learned pulse yesterday, right? Checked her pulse. Her pulse is racing, racing, racing. Her heart is just... And so I said, okay, well, let me see if I walk her. Just let me try to walk her around the arena. That didn't help either. So, of course, Spirit is in the back, losing his whole mind. I'm like, oh, gosh. So I walk her back there just to walk around that arena. So it's darker back there because for some reason the lights on that side wouldn't come on. And then she kind of calmed. I brought her back out, tied her to the hitching rail. I'm like, okay, Levi had calmed down. I said, all right, let's see. But somewhere in my heart, I felt like there was nothing to precipitate fireworks. So in my mind, it's like, if there's an event and there are fireworks going off, at some point you know it's going to be over. Well, since there was nothing precipitating it, I don't know if they're going to start back up again, right. You know? And so the one little girl, she was just like, I don't have a good feeling about this. I just think, oh, I think her nerves are just razzled. I said, I think your nerves are razzled. But she's like uber dramatic anyway. But I said, and I understand, because that's a scary kind of thing to see your horses just. So put her back on the hitching rail, and we started. Levi, she was able to finish grooming him, and I said, just don't worry about hooves. Just brush them gently. This is a way to calm them. Don't rub them, calm them, talk to them. Let's try to bring them down. And with Destiny, it's like every time she was touched, she was doing this. I was like, no, girl, we're going to put you on back there so you can go on and eat and go back with your people. And we'll let that be. But it was just very interesting. And even John had come running out when he heard it. And I'm like, okay, so you know the behavior of your fur babies. And he saw me walking her around. He's like, all right, well, just make sure she's calm before. I'm like, you think?
I'm just like, why would someone light fireworks right there? Like, you can smell the horses from like a mile away.
Everybody knows there's horses over here.
You don't even have to live here to like know.
No, absolutely.
Like, there's trailers outside. Like, it's
right.
So obvious.
Right. But you know, people don't think.
They don't know.
People don't think. They don't know. They, you know, what they do, they are doing in their vacuum and for their experience. And some don't know. And I felt like, okay, I know fireworks to go off a lot. I know the engine of a car or a truck can alert them and spark them. But it was just something where you have to be observant, you know. And just like when you're driving, like when I was teaching my children to drive, I'm like, you're not just responsible for your car and your lane. You are responsible to be aware of the entire road, this side of the highway and that side of the highway. So you're constantly looking and being in readiness in the event that something happens. You can respond, and you can't say, well, they were all the way over there and they da-da-da-da. In your peripheral, as you're driving forward, you know, you can see certain things. So I try to give that same scenario when we're here working with the horses. So if you're working with your horse, yes, you are responsible for your horse, but you have to be aware of people who are around you, other horses that are around you, because if, you know, you go to walk around yours and there's someone right behind you, you know, so that was our little experience. Well, then there's more. Oh, boy. So they didn't ride. This was their final, and they did not ride last night. And it was okay because neither of the girls really felt comfortable. And the mom was like, well, whatever you think is best. I said, well, I think it would be best not to on tonight. So then we're putting the horses away. The open riders come. So I'm like, okay, so we're in here finishing up and everything. And one of the open riders comes in. Kachina is losing her mind. She's just, I'm like, what's going on? The wind had picked up. Yeah. And almost instantly, it just got super windy. Kachina wasn't having it. So Kachina didn't get ridden last night. And I'm like, you know what? The elements. It's just like us. Now we, you know, get affected in different ways, but when it comes to our animals, we have to give consideration and respect to how they're feeling above and beyond what we paid for, what we're here supposedly to do, what their job is. If they are not feeling it, leave them be. You know, just leave them be. She said, well, maybe I'll try to walk her. And I said, that'll be fine. We can do that. And I said, well, make sure you get credit so you can come back on another day because you paid for open riding. And so, and even Levi, poor thing. I'm like, this boy, he was ground tied. She goes to go get the bridle. This other one goes to get the bridle. Levi goes running across the arena. Like, dude, where are you going? So it was eventful. It was eventful and fun. It was fun. It was good. But it was a good experience because I think for everyone between the two groups, no one had experienced that kind of action from the horses. So it was a good thing.